At the end of your life, what will be your legacy? What will you leave behind for future generations? For the world, join the World Messenger, Izabela Lundberg, each week as she brings you a new distinguished guest from the business, sports, or entertainment world to share their success, their struggles, and their lessons. They will share their insights into current hot topics that affect everyone. Izabela facilitates an intimate, vulnerable environment to find the true value of humanity and real leadership. Are you ready for your legacy? The legacy that matters?
Hello, hello, my beautiful friends. It's Izabela Lundberg here, the World Messenger, and inviting you for another episode of Legacy Leader Show. I have a very special guest joining us from UK, from London. She is Powerhouse herself. She's originally from Nigeria, gorgeous, beautiful woman inside and out. She's a certified life coach. She's CEO of Powerhouse Global, which I cannot wait to learn more. President of Global Women Foundation. Oh my goodness, all the ladies around the world, buckle up. And publisher of Powerhouse Global Magazine. Without further ado, please let me introduce you to Lady Anita. How are you doing, Anita? Welcome.
Thank you so very much, Izabela. This is such a great honor and a privilege. I am privileged to be on this show with you.
It is also a privilege in order to have you because I feel like you accomplish so much and you're supporting people, specifically women around the world. So I just absolutely cannot wait to a little bit undercover. What are you currently doing, but also what happened from early stage in your life back in Nigeria before even you got to London, to tell us a little bit about your personal story that prompts you to move to London.
Okay, thank you for asking that. Right, I am the last of 7 surviving children of my parents. And you probably think, oh, she's spoiled. No, I am not. I am one of those tough cookies, if you may know. So even though I'm the last, but I have always had the mindset of being in charge in a positive way. So my leadership journey started at the age of 7. Yeah, then we were living in the suburb. And one of my elder sister got married and she had a baby. And because in African culture, we have to support each other. It's a natural thing. So, and I am so privileged to have come from such culture because that is what has molded me to become this person. So no matter the level of success, I always remember the journey I have made. So it keeps me grounded. Okay, so 7 years, I went to live with my sister and looked after my niece, who was 2 months old at that time. And I served my sister for 11 years. So 7 to 18, along came, 3 other nieces. So I raised 4 beautiful girls. I mean, 3 of them are medical doctors and 1 is an engineer. And at the age of 18, I know. So my next life cycle began at the age of 18, finding my voice, finding myself, and other things happened. And between the age of 19 and 24, I was in England, and I started the other journey, being a wife. But that entrepreneur spirit has always been there. That's the desire to be my own self, not just to live on other people's idea. So that's the transition. So, but there were quite a few things that happened in between those years. So, and here I am. But I love my life. I love what I do. I love the fact that I am a voice, not just for those who know where they're headed for, but also for those who don't know what to do next.
I love that you kept such a strong values from Africa. I work so closely with Africans from so many countries, including, of course, Nigeria. And it's just such a beautiful culture. A lot of arts and a lot of great expression and all of that. And it's so important to do not lose that. But obviously in London and being a Miss Miss Duckworth-Bradshaw, obviously being a wife, I'm assuming also being a mother. Do you have any
Absolutely.
children?
Yeah, I am. I'm a mother to a beautiful, beautiful son. He's not just handsome, he's a beautiful soul.
I bet, of course. Usually kids are product of parents. So seeing how energy that you radiate, you of course expect that to be the case. And specifically when the children are, as we know, nurtured and raised in loving, caring environment and very aware of parents on soul level, on a holistic level, I think magic happens. But do you mind sharing a little bit now? I'm really curious. You know, you came very young and obviously spent quite a bit of time of your life in UK in London. Do you mind sharing how is the situation right now in London? What is happening right now?
I think for me, situation is what you make of it. That's it. As not just as someone in the field of personal development, okay? There are fears out there. I think it's for you to choose what you want to do whilst you go through the process.
I love it. I love it for everybody that's watching and listening. My dear friends around the globe, what Anita just shared is extremely powerful. Even if you don't believe in law of attraction, start deeply thinking why certain things are happening to you, and you spot on. Since obviously when we apply our wisdom, our life experience, and we get to a certain level of awareness and mindset, we can juggle and be able to balance this better. When you said you've been through a lot, I could kind of relate to that. I come from former Yugoslavia and the war and genocide and ethnic cleansing. And for you, I know there was a lot of shifts in Nigeria when you were growing up. So we have a choice, being a victim or being victors in that, right? And then also stepping into our power so that we can make a better, smarter decisions, but also have a better, more positive experiences.
I totally agree with you. You know what? I read your story and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up, irrespective of what you've been through. And you know, the amazing thing is, you never gave up on your definite resolute. I was just having a conversation with a couple of my students and I talked about growth hacking. It's about hacking your growth as leaders, okay? Bad things do happen to good people. But when those things do happen, what do we do? How do we respond? You know, like Jim Rohn would say, it's not the blowing of the wind that determines the destination, but the setting of the sail. Because the wind blows on each one of us. The wind of life. You know, you talk about divorce, you talk about illness, you talk about death, you talk about war, you talk about hunger. You know, you talk about all the negative things you can imagine, you know, to happen to humans. It does happen. But the setting of sail is what counts.
Wow, such a powerful words of wisdom, Lady Anita. I love it. Right now, reason I'm also asking, it's very interesting when we get through social media, through the news and through different outlets and feed, right? But it's so beautiful when I have these interviews with people around the world to get a pulse from their perspective. And it's immediately dives into economy, politics, struggle and change. And even though all of that is real, specifically right now with the upcoming election for us on November 3rd, you so spot on. We have this fear factor and paralysis and no wind in our sail, no movement, and everybody focusing on things they cannot do versus of things that they can do. So I am really curious. You're zero powerhouse, and to me, you're a powerhouse yourself. So it's such a shooting. It's such a great fit. Do you mind telling me how did you establish your organization, your company, and then how did you extend this amazing love and passion and desire to help specifically global women and create the foundation?
Oh, thank you so very much for asking that question. Well, I just want to digress a little bit. My mother passed away 17 years ago. God rest her soul. And she was the first powerhouse woman that I knew. And one of the things I learned from her is how to serve selflessly, how to lead with compassion, and how to deal your bread with those less privileged. So I set up Powerhouse in 2013. It came off the back of my second book, Woman, the Powerhouse. And since then, we have evolved from just focusing on women to global leadership. So we incorporated both the men and the women, because one thing I discovered that I was limiting myself as to the reach, as to who I can transform. So Powerhouse is it's so big that sometimes it scares me, but I'm grateful that I am, the I am the main propagator. But as I travel on my journey, I've been able to, liaise with other leaders from around the world. And it's an umbrella with different branches. We have the coaching and mentoring services, and we have the Powerhouse Network. We have the academy. We have the annual awards, we retreats, the conference, and the products. So I think it's about believing in the vision you've been given to. It's believing in your calling, your purpose. Everyone has something. I know there are no empty bins in the world. We only have untapped, undiscovered ideas and skills. That is what we have. But there are no empty bins. So once you have that, you understand. So Powerhouse has been a joy. I love the fact that I am able to meet the needs of those that have been called to serve. And if you listen to the language I use, those that have been called to serve, because I have traveled on a journey and I've discovered that I have not been called to serve everybody. It's just the people that the universe has kept for me to serve. And I'm going to meet more people as I travel on my journey. Quickly going back to the charity, which I formed 4 years ago, that came off the back of depression. Yes. I was at the lowest of my low in 2016. When the storm of life hits, you most we're not prepared for them. They just come. And like I said, it's not about the wind that blows. It's about you setting your sail. And that period, I was at the lowest of my state as a leader. Just imagine, I imagine me going on a stage and I speak at a conference with so many people, and at the end of the day, I go to the toilet to cry because I say to myself, if only people know what I'm going through right now. As leaders, we know how to hold it together. And
very true. Very true. So a lot of times we think we're only one that are going through that, so we keep it together and we don't necessarily share, right?
We don't necessarily share. However, I have created a space where leaders can actually identify the people they want to share their pain with. So we'll come to that. And so that 2016 was when I set up the charity. And at that time, personally, I fed over 400 children. And I thought it was a one-off. But I saw that they need me. And then we started expanding to other things, and we set out the plan for the charity. And each quarter of the year, we have something to do for the women and the children. So in total, we have fed over 2,000 children in the last 4 years. We have run over 6 different workshops for women, and empowering them, teaching them trades, and so many amazing things. And it's just so rewarding, to be able to do that. And the fact that I started at my point of pain to get to where I am right now. Yes.
Wow, what a powerful story. And thank you, Anita, for sharing the vulnerability and how depression affected you. Because I'm hearing a lot of people that are going through, sometimes they're not even aware of what it is. but also it's very vulnerable, it's very personal. And then also because of environments, climate, weather, UK, rain, but also support and types of people that are around. Sometimes also you have, certain fatigue and problems that environmentally affects you before that you even realize that people go through different stages. How important it is to be so self-aware of, right? But to take of this beauty of accomplishments to your Global Women Foundation, it is so powerful what you started and what you created, and now what you can now with listeners, with viewers, but also people that are compelled to do more to support those wonderful causes.
Thank you. Thank you. At the end of the day, there are no perfect times to start anything. The perfect time is right now. So there'll never be a perfect condition. You create the perfect condition. So that's what we're doing right now.
And it's so funny, in 2016, I wanted to start my podcast, and then was no right time for me from various reasons. And then it's like, I'm starting in this year. And it's like, wow, felt not only right, even though wasn't perfect, but was just a perfect timing to actually reach and dialogue and capture these amazing conversations like yourself, because to give me not only tremendous personal satisfaction, but opportunities to share those golden nuggets and everything, words of wisdom with others, because we're all learning from each other. So do you mind sharing that when the pain struck you, when you start serving, obviously that helped you to ease the pain, and I'm sure you felt better because you felt like you were doing something more outside for others, and in a way we're helping yourself. I'm assuming there was probably correlation with that.
Right. I have always served, but in a different way. Remember, I started the journey at the age of 7 to serve. I served my sister and her family for 11 years. I kind of lost my childhood, if I can, I'm permitted to use that. Yes, I'm using the word. I did not enjoy childhood because I was in that authority position where I have to be responsible for other people, which are my nieces. So that was where I learned to protect, to love, to share, and to lead in my own little way, to guide them, in the right direction. And so setting up the charity wasn't something I planned, but it was a new level of service and a new level of compassion for humanity. And that has helped me to become a better person.
That is so powerful. And I love what you said, because I'm seeing common thread from my work with so many people around the world, including Africans, where childhood is very often stolen and replaced with child labor and different expectations, some imposed through culture and family, but some true to the circumstances. And as a result, we have people that are trying then later in life to figure out and find ways to truly experiment and find what they really love to enjoy, to relax, and that satisfy them in a way. And I feel like we always have the child spirit within us. We just need to unleash it. We need to let it free, right?
Absolutely.
And that radiates through you, through your personality. So do you mind sharing what creative work do you do that really gets you fully to self-discover besides service, and also propels you to expand and do more, and including Powerhouse Global Magazine? Oh my God, you need to tell us all about that as well.
Thank you so very much for the opportunity. I'm very spiritual. And I think my spiritual connection is what is keeping me sane and grounded. So when all the negative happenings are around me, I still find a way to reconnect with my higher self. My higher self, like I teach my students, you see, we are content. in a container. The container is a physical being that, what you're seeing, the interaction, the moving of hands and the eyes and the beautiful face.
Mhm.
But the content is invisible. When once you can connect and understand what the content is, then you'll be able to live. You'll be able to live. You'll be able to live a more rewarding, more fulfilling life. You'll be able to understand that you are more than enough. And coming to my work, the magazine, it's been there, in the pipeline for the past 7 years, but the time to bait it was 2018. And it wasn't a walk in the park, but I'm so grateful that someone, an amazing individual, took a risk on me to say, listen, you go do this, and we are going to back you up because you are brilliant.
Wow.
And the thing is, not everybody get the opportunity to have someone or people to believe in their crazy ideas and to say, I'm going to support you because I see that you can make it happen. So I am ever so grateful to that person who took a risk on me and took a risk on the idea. And we have never looked back since when we launched the first edition in April 2018. And now we actually baiting a new baby, Powerhouse Global Stars, at the end of November. We'll be just profiling leaders from across the globe. I think for me, it's about evolution. It's just you just keep evolving and just keep evolving. So long as you are living the purpose you have been created to live, not on other people's idea. So my work just is, even as an author, I've been privileged to author about 8 books, and there are so many things I know that people can do if they reconnect with their inner self. So that's what I can share.
That is so powerful. Wow. I didn't know that you had a published shade book. So I'm just like uncovering more and more excitement here. But I have to say, from my early work with Africans specifically, I also discovered so much soul, so much heart, so much this passion, so much wisdom, so much presence, so much grace, and so much grit that people, unless they've been traveling through some really hard path, would not necessarily recognize. And I'm glad that you bring in importance of spirituality, because we need to look at a human being holistically. And I remember when I pioneered in that in early 90s, there was a concept like, what are you talking about? And then things start evolving more and more, and how now we're spiritual being having experience in physical, but how important it is to really recognize how interconnected we are.
Absolutely.
And when we create the space, I have to say my life is being tremendously richer as a result. And I just want to thank you for everything you do, because it just makes me smile and makes me extremely happy, because this is what we need more of. But
Absolutely.
not to lose the sight now on your tremendous work that we just uncovered. Do you mind telling a little bit about your books? You have 8 books.
Yes. My first book was published in 2010, and it's called The Road to Discovery. And the Road to Discovery now is a professional development training program. We designed that in 2011. Well, aside from just publishing books, I organize anthology projects around the world, because my mission as a global leader is to continue to create global visibility opportunities for other leaders. And hence, I am passionate about what I do with Powerhouse, be it the magazine, be it the anthology book projects. Before COVID-19, we hold at least 4 conferences around the world every year. The last one was in Dubai in February. We were meant to be in Phoenix, Arizona for our annual leadership retreat just on the 10th of this October, but COVID-19 changed all of that. But I know things are going to get back to normal to a degree from 2021, God willing. So I just love my life. I love what I do. And I know I don't sound it enough, but I'm happy with the progress I'm making.
That is beautiful. That is fantastic. And I feel like even with this COVID situation, for me, it's opportunity to regroup and pause a little bit, reassess, but also build new strategic partnership alliances and really refocus, right? Because when we're in the process, even this moment has tremendous beauty. And what you just shared, we still connect virtually, but those retreats when people finally get together will be even more special, because I feel like a shift happened where people recognize what is matters, what is most important, which I think you early on discovered, which is not only service, but things beyond yourself. What do we do to not only serve, but also to build a legacy that is meaningful, that is worthy, that is satisfying, that is influence and impacting generations to come? So with that in mind, do you mind reflecting on, for someone who accomplished so much already, and it's very young and still has a lot to do, what do you feel like it's still in your bucket list, or in what would you like to be your legacy? What would you like to be known for, Lady Anita?
I love that. I did my life plan 5 years ago. So it's not rigid, but it has helped me to focus on what is important. I say to people, mostly at my conferences, when I speak as a keynote speaker, or when I write, or when I train my students, when we are long gone, this is the truth. And I'm so happy that you're a propagator of, the legacy leadership mission. When we are long gone, people will not remember us. All the materialistic toys that we have achieved, they will remember us for the opportunities we created for them. They'll remember us for pointing them in the right direction, the smile, the art of selfless service, for the fact that we love without expecting, for the fact that we showed up in their lives, the art of compassion, the art of kindness. That is what we'll be remembered for. So what would I love to be remembered for? I want to be remembered that this crazy woman showed up, and despite all the storm that she went through, she didn't give up on her dream to touch lives one person at a time.
Wow. Wow, that is so profound. As so many beautiful wise leaders said prior, people always remember how we made them feel.
Absolutely.
And also what we did for them to help them in the next stage in life. And you shared how somebody took a bet on you, knowing how powerful you are, and to be behind your Powerhouse Global magazine, or to support your dream because you shared the vision. But if you never express it, who would know, right?
Okay.
And how important it is to, even when we don't feel confident, find the ways, even when we need to take a baby steps. So for listeners and viewers that are watching and listening this, how do they engage? How do they follow your work? How do they know where to go and what to do? Because you encompass so much, obviously, besides connecting with you on LinkedIn, which I will provide the links, but I really want to make sure, where would you like them to go to get as an initial point of contact so they can engage with your phenomenal work?
Thank you. I would like them to visit Woman the Powerhouse. Aside from that, saying that, I want to thank you, first of all, for the amazing work you're doing. You are a true servant leader. And I have been on the entrepreneur journey for 12 years. But it took the last 2 years for things to turn for me, because someone showed up in my life and someone taught me how to become a better leader and also a servant. And I'm grateful that we're connected, and I'm grateful that we're doing this to give hope to other people and to sell that possibility mentality for those leaders who feel like giving up. Yes, It can be lonely at the top sometimes, but it's important we identify those few people that we can share our pain with, that we can share our joy and our successes with. I'm privileged to have few people that I can do that. I can be a right mess, but they just love me for me. And I can win and they celebrate me genuinely. So that is where leaders need to really, really work on. Yes, you can't keep wearing the face mask of I am strong. No, we are humans. We are vulnerable to things, but it just depends on where you want to show it. So I'm on Facebook, Anita.Bradshaw. You'll find me, you'll see the beautiful face, smiley face, and you'll find me there. And I'm on Twitter at La Proverbs. You'll find me there. And on Instagram, Anita.Bradshaw. You'll find me there. So we have powerhouseglobalwomen.com. That's my personal page. So many, I can, send you a list if that works better. But I'm just happy that I've been able to serve today. And I believe that my little contribution will provoke someone who is listening to take a chance on themselves and also to keep going no matter the challenges, because the world is waiting for you to show up. Like my mentor would say, you don't need to carry everyone to deliver your someone. So don't be afraid to walk alone if there is need for that to happen. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
Wow, what a brilliant message. That is very, very powerful. You're spot on, guys. You cannot give up on yourself, and you have so much to offer. And look at how this beautiful, spiritual, gorgeous being is sharing herself and still serving selfishly. And I think that is also important, that we can start putting ourselves out there, being vulnerable, and allowing this amazing transformation to happen. In closing, do you have any message for anyone that actually struggles to take that first step, based on your experience in teaching, what that would be, so that they can say, I am going to take action item right now because Lady Anita made it very clear. And if she could do it, I can do it too.
One of the things I want to say to leaders, those who are listening, those who are watching, you're not alone on the road to struggle. Struggling is part of what makes us who we are. If I didn't go through those really, really tough times, I don't think I would have been this person. I don't even think that I would have been doing more than what I'm already doing right now. I would have still been scared. I would have still, want to take permission. Listen, don't undersell yourself. You are a brilliant being living in a body. Focus on developing your content, not just the container, not just, making the physical body suit to look beautiful. Connect with yourself. Connect with yourself. Find a time when you can be honest with yourself. Remember, I want to tell you one of my secrets. The pen and the paper are the two weapons of healing and also of growth. Don't leave it on the side. The pen and the paper. Magic happens when once you pick the pen to write either your thoughts or either your plans. Just keep living and don't give up on yourself, no matter what.
Wow, that is phenomenal message, guys. Make it happen. And dear Lady Anita, it was absolute pleasure to have you. This is just beginning. We will have you back again, but we're looking forward to see what magical stuff the Powerhouse Woman and a Powerhouse Global Foundation will be doing in months and years to come.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and keep rocking, girl. I salute you.